I'm back, baby. It's time to get back into the grind of talking Phillies, of talking Sixers, talking Eagles. Vacation's over. So holding back on the Phillies and the Sixers, it's just not going to happen anymore. We're all in on fighting and arguing and talking about these teams. Trending the AM's back and live, taking all your thoughts and opinions. You lollygaggers. We're live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube and Twitter. Make sure wherever you're watching, you hit that like button, that share button. Of course, subscribe to the STT Sports Network, sitting at 540 subscribers. It's up to you guys to hit those buttons and help grow this channel, grow this network as we continue to take over and dominate as we inch closer to the start of the NFL season. Like 8 weeks away. 9 weeks away. It's so close. Training camp's 2 weeks away. So we got lots to talk about as we build up the training camp. We're going to talk a little Eagles throughout the day today. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. We're going to talk Phillies today, but make sure you do me that favor, like, share, subscribe, and vote on our poll question. Is Zack Wheeler a top 5 pitcher in Phillies history? Results will be updated throughout the show. Your options are yes, he is, no, he's not, or no, but real close. We're going to get into all that. We're going to talk Phillies. We're going to talk Zack Wheeler. We're going to talk Rob Thompson after last night's loss and more of the same Rob Thompson, issues happening. It is what it is. We're going to talk about that. VJ Edgecombe, a couple days ago, didn't play last night, but a couple days ago, really stood out in Sixers Summer League. So we're going to get into that. Is he the savior of the Sixers organization? Maybe. And the Sixers made a big signing yesterday, so we're going to talk about that. Big signing, but something that really annoys me with Sixers Nation, and you might not agree or understand or know where I'm going to come from with the Sixers, but let's get back to it. Let's get to the comments right away. Good morning, Nooms. Good morning, Adam. Zack Wheeler is probably the best pitcher in Phillies history. He's so dominant and his sweeper curve. I don't know about best in Phillies history. That's going to be Steve Carlton probably forever, but damn, he is getting closer and closer to that top spot. Yes, I am back again. And yes, Zack Wheeler's been wheeling and dealing. When I say he's back, I mean you. Yes, thank you. Good morning, Big Al. I love how they tell me when you share things now. Good morning, Duck. I'm back, baby. Did you miss me? Hon? That umpire last night was terrible. Missed over 20-some calls, and let alone in the 8th. Oh, man, he was so bad. And obviously, I didn't stay awake till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning to watch the entire game. So I'm definitely doing today's show, box score watching and highlight watching. Oh my God. First, the at-bat with Bryce Harper. Rob Thompson showed. Even Bryce Harper looks to the dugout for help and gets none. Then in the bottom of the inning with Ryan Kirkran, no help whatsoever there again. Rob Thompson just looking like this. Ridiculous. You missed the morning show. Well, I missed doing the morning show. It was nice not to get up at 6:30 in the morning, a couple days there. But yeah, I'm back, okay? Back at it, ready to get to the grind here. Lots happening. Got to confirm. I got some big guests lined up for the next couple of weeks. Lots going on as we inch closer to the NFL season. Twitter it's a new thing on my end. I've just started noticing it the last couple of weeks. I was at Wheeler game. It was awesome. Dude, I mean, it's just, I don't think people realize, casual fans realize how entertaining a dominant performance like Zack Wheeler threw. I don't think they realize that we actually love a pitcher's duel sometimes. We don't need 10-6 games. A 3-1 pitcher's duel is just as entertaining. What's up, Rick? Good morning. ABS needs to be instituted ASAP. Absolutely, these umps are way too inconsistent. And frankly, it's an antiquated method that is no longer needed. What is MLB waiting for? Balls and strikes are most. Rick, I've been saying this since they said it wasn't making it out of spring training this year. It's crazy that the MLB has decided to keep going and not using the ABS system. It's absolutely needs to be a requirement. And last night's a perfect example, especially when you have a coach, manager that won't stand up for his players. That's just as big of a deal about it, right? You know, those Bryce Harper pitches. Say all you want about Bryce Harper and how he's struggling since his return from his injured list stint. Okay? Say whatever you want about that. But it doesn't take away from the fact that they were 2 balls way out of the zone. And then you got Kirkry, who's trying to figure out how to be a closer and how to be an elite, relief pitcher. And he gets squeezed on 2 pitches that were right there, and a third that was even more there. The 2 on the corners, they were clear strikes, and the third one was obvious. It's ridiculous. Now, I want to spend today talking about Zack Wheeler, but I got to sit here and spend time talking about Rob Thompson's emotionless, personality and bad balls and strikes that could have possibly cost us a game. Christopher Sanchez, another great performance last night. Thank God for Sanchez and Ranger Suarez and Zack Wheeler. Otherwise, the Phillies would be in real deep right now. Thank God for those 3 guys. But then when you're getting squeezed by the umpires, blatantly, I mean, it's so obvious. And you've got the technology to fix that. And you choose not to use it. Who's pushing back on the lack of the ABS being used? Is it MLB? Is it the umpires? Is it the umpires union? Are they worried that they'll lose their jobs if ABS is put in like what is going on? Has there been an actual comment from MLB on why they're not using it yet? I don't know. Adam, vacation was great. Any vacation is great. A little rest, reset, a few cocktails, a few cigars, a few beers, a few soaks in the hot tub, a few swims in the pool, a couple boat rides. Good time. My sister-in-law got engaged on vacation. We celebrated my mother-in-law's 70th birthday. It was a hell of a week. But now back to reality. Back to work yesterday and today. Back at the shows today. Fairway to Heaven. Tonight, back 6 p.m. MLB is so it's backwards. Like, really, legitly is backwards. I need to see the umpires report. Yeah, I can't wait till that comes out. Big Al. It's not going to be pretty. Okay? It's not going to be pretty on last night's game. Start putting umpires reports live on SportsCenter every day. So, what you think SportsCenter is going to do something that is critical of anybody? Like, seriously. Like, that's not where you're gonna see it. Now, SportsCenter, maybe after they lose baseball. Aren't they losing baseball this year? I think they're losing baseball, Sunday Night Baseball. Maybe after they lose Sunday Night Baseball, maybe they will. Where am I going? Here we go. The umps union for sure. You think the umps union's behind it, Anthony? And good morning to you. Possibly. It's very possible, Anthony. Very possible. And I would see that as part of it, possibly for sure. Fire and B. Good morning, Pump Man. Sure, fire him. I don't care. Get him out of here. He's a bum. Phillies blow. Well, they don't. Well, they're still a damn talented team. And some will say they're going to win a World Series still. But they have serious flaws on this team still. And again, thank God for the Phillies starting pitching. One Matty B will side with his fellow. Oh, Matty B will side with him. Of course he will. MLB is like, let's make bigger bases, pitch clock, and ban the shift. But meanwhile, correct balls and strikes. Yeah, exactly. It's a great way to phrase it. Great way to phrase it. Okay, Rick? Great way. Let's change all the things that maybe don't need to be changed. But the one thing we have the power to change and choose not to. Ridiculous. Good morning, Anthony. God, I heard. I was in the Outer Banks. I was sitting on my beach house, the house like patio, sipping on a cocktail, and I heard from the distance, echoing through the ocean, "Ka-ka, ka-ka." And I'm like, oh, K1's calling me back home. All right, I heard you calling through the sound waves. I heard you calling for me, K1. So here I am. I'm back. I'm back and better than ever. The tan is good. So, it's an okay tan. Not my best tan I ever got on vacation. There was some bad weather, so wasn't outside as much as I wanted to be. what's that? Tropical storm. What was it? I forget which one it was. Kind of hit us towards the end there, but it is what it is. Look, the umpires were bad, clearly. But also, we got to remember, the offense had 6 total hits last night. Only 1 extra base hit. As bad as the umpiring was late in the game, if you get 1 more base hit throughout that game, 2 more base hits, score 1 more run, the situation unfolds differently potentially. Phillies top 3 in wins in the NL yet. Here are the miserable, looking at to bury them. Look, I'm not going to deny that even with the wins and the losses, I'm still not happy with Rob Thompson's managerial style, Rick. I mean, last night, with the way the umpires were, how did Rob Thompson not get thrown out of the game last night? How? Tough guy. Benches, and properly benches Nick Castellanos. But you can't stand up for Bryce Harper or Ryan Kirkland there? You heard everybody else from the dugout shouting. But there's Rob Thompson just... It's a bunch of lollygaggers. You want to be a lollygagger for the rest of your life? Show some heart and emotion. And maybe the team will react to that differently. What he's doing now, it ain't working. Ump was bad last night, but the offense is worse. The defense also misplayed 3 balls. Look, I ain't gonna lie. TV was off at 10:15 last night. I was not staying up last night. The offense and defense will keep them from a World Series, and maybe the bullpen as well. Okay? Maybe the bullpen as well. Are you still on the Ace Bailey train after seeing VJ Edgecombe drop 28 in his Summer League debut a few nights ago? He's got a thumb contusion, couldn't play last night. They should probably bench him, sit him for the whole year to get him healthy, but that's another joke for later in the show. Runners in scoring position has been discussing, especially over the last few games. Needs to be better. Bring up Crawford. Justin Crawford is still not being called up, and I don't know when they're going to call him up, Big Al. I don't know if they will. Just like they might not call up Andrew Painter this year now. You can't get thrown out of a game if you stand. That's true. You do got to stand up. You got to open your mouth and say something to get thrown out of a baseball game. He just doesn't want to do it. What should Topper have done? Punch the umpire? No, get out of the dugout and go yell in his face. It doesn't accomplish anything in the game, Rick. But what it does do is set a tone that he's got their backs. I can already feel him losing this clubhouse, okay? I can. And if you can't, I don't know what to tell you. He is losing this clubhouse, Rob Thompson. Get their backs. Show you got their backs. Get yourself thrown out of the game. Go out, yell, scream, empty the clip into him, verbally. And then go from there. It's a bigger problem than you realize. They're still going to win 95 games. They're still going to make the playoffs, but he does not have their back in the way they want. Whether he wants to do it or not, it doesn't matter. They want him to yell and shout and scream. Crawford ain't no lollygagger. Rob Thompson is, though. 28 on 27 shots. We're going to talk about VJ and Edgecombe's shots at some point today, for sure. But yeah, he did take a lot of shots, and he was 1 for 7, 1 for 8 from 3-point line. So we're going to get into that at some point because I see something there. Phillies have the 3rd highest payroll. They should have one of the best records, but you can see the flaws. There are flaws. They're a great team. They might be the most flawed great team in recent memory in baseball or in Philadelphia sports. I fear that we may never see Crawford. I think Dombrowski wants to trade him. Look, go for it. If that's what you want to do, if you're going to get a real legit player, not an Austin Hayes, not a Carlos Estevez, okay? But if you're going to go out there and get a real player, go for it. Trade him. Everybody's tradable, in my opinion. Sirianni yelled at the fans, and now the team loves him for that. Exactly. Nick Sirianni shows his emotion, gets his players' backs when necessary, whether with it's the refs or with the fans. And you know what? They love him for it. They respect him for it. They listen to him for it. I've said this countless times. Nick Sirianni's personality is what wins championships, not Doc Rivers, not Nick Nurse, not Rob Thompson. In this day and age, you've got to show some fight, show some energy. Glaring flaws at that. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank God Sixers signed Lowry. Finals, here we come. Yeah, obviously that wasn't part of my original agenda today. When I created this stream at like 12:30 yesterday afternoon, let me tell you something. I got a Sixers beef, and we're going to pivot from the Phillies for a second to talk Sixers, okay? Because I got a beef with Sixers fans, not the Sixers. Well, I've got lots of beefs with the Sixers, but I got a beef with Sixers fans right now, okay? A real beef here, okay? Sixers fans want to overreact to 28 points for VJ Edgecombe. Fine, whatever. Sixers fans, we're going to look at this. Who's going to stop this lineup with VJ Edgecombe now added to Joel Embiid and a healthy Paul George and this and that? But then when they sign Eric Gordon and then sign Kyle Lowry, what the hell are they doing? Like, if you are upset or surprised that Kyle Lowry or Eric Gordon are back on this Sixers roster, you have no understanding of the disaster that Daryl Morey has created. You could only sign guys like Eric Gordon and Kyle Lowry and the two-way player they signed after that, before that. There's only vet minimum contracts to hand out. There's only so many vet minimum players out there that'll come here. This Sixers organization is a disaster. And if you thought anything but Eric Gordon and Kyle Lowry are going to happen, you lied to yourself. Fans always lying to themselves out there. Like, this was always going to happen. Kyle Lowry is always going to come back for his 20th season. Who cares? I mean, it's a waste. It's a bump. I would have rather gotten some G Leaguer out there. Is it still called the G League? And given them the chance over Kyle Lowry. But they're trying to sell the hope of a championship. So what they're doing is they're finding whatever aging stars will accept the vet minimum to come here. This was always the plan this offseason from Daryl Morey. And I've been saying that. But everyone's getting upset now that it's actually, before it was like, no, have faith in Daryl Morey. This guy's a genius. He knows what he's doing. That he does exactly what I say he's going to do. And I was like, how dare he? He doesn't have any idea what he's doing. No, this was always the plan. This is always what was going to happen. What can the Phillies do to cheer up this fan base? Win a World Series in July? We are letting the season play out. But we are also allowed to get emotional when a tough loss like last night happens that shouldn't have happened because the umpire ruined it. And then the coach, the manager, did not have the players back in the situation. There's a difference, okay? Again, a majority of the Phillies fans that are upset this morning know that the Phillies are still going to make the playoffs. The Phillies are still going to win a lot of games. They don't want that. They do want a World Series. Yes, you can't win it in July, but they do want to win a World Series. Lowry is so old they are using Roman numerals on his jersey. As soon as VJ Edgecombe got number 77, we knew for sure Kyle Lowry was coming back, right? Seriously. A lot of this fan base buried Sirianni when he screamed at the fans. I saw it. Absolutely. Absolutely people did. I didn't. I was fine with it. But we see that the way Nick Sirianni ran his team had good results. It worked. And there were a lot of fans that didn't like Nick Sirianni. There were a lot of fans that wanted Nick Sirianni out of here. I was not one of them. I saw what he had. And I saw what he was doing. But that's another subject. Welcome back. What's up, Chet? Good morning. There's no reason to have Gordon or Lowry on this Sixers roster. Well, there is. They can't afford anybody else, Chet. And Daryl Morey thinks selling the fan base on Gordon and Lowry is better than going out and getting, I don't know, 2 20-year-olds from the G League. I don't even know who they would be. That's it. There are no other options. The money given out to Embiid, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey has crippled this franchise into having no option unless they want to convince the fans it's okay to step back and trade some of those guys. The Sixers have no options. The Phillies' flaws are the kind that get you bounced from the playoffs in the wild card round, regardless. Exactly. They have flaws, and they're going to get to the playoffs. But can they overcome their flaws to get past the wild card round? Maybe they can. Maybe they get hot at the right moment, Steve. But the odds say it's not. I'm all right with the Lowry signing. Why? The guy brings knowledge for a younger player. Then just make him a coach, okay? Let's fire Nick Nurse and just turn Kyle Lowry into the thing. Kyle Lowry is going to be, just like it happened last year, where Jarrett McCain couldn't get on the floor all the time because you had to get Kyle Lowry his minutes. Now, VJ Edgecombe is going to fight for minutes with Kyle Lowry. Everyone thinks he's going to be the 15th guy and not play. I guarantee Tyrese Maxey goes down for a game or two, Kyle Lowry starting, not VJ Edgecombe and or whoever. It's just the way it's going to be because I don't trust Nick Nurse to play the kids over the vets. It works. I don't like his coaching style, but I tend to be stoic. Sixers go. How can you be honest with yourself and say this? You're either waking and baking or you're lying to yourself, Rick. The only way the Sixers are going to surprise people if Joel Embiid is healthy. And there's no reason to believe that he's going to be healthy. There's just not. That he's going to play 50 or 60 games. There's no evidence that proves that. And without a healthy Embiid, there's no way. Good morning, Lil G. Hope you're well. Old man Phillies not winning shit. Well, they're winning a lot of games, Brian. A lot of games. They're just not built for the championship success we want. You came around on Sirianni. He came around on Sirianni. Absolutely. If healthy. That's the key thing. Is it possible? Sure. Santa Claus might still be real. That's a possibility too. If healthy. But you can't say they're going to surprise people. You can say if they are healthy, which is a big if, they're going to surprise people. Sure. If Joel Embiid plays 55 games and is healthy come playoff time, absolutely, I'm on board, Rick, that the Sixers team is a top 3 playoff team and could make a run in the playoffs. But there's such a big if that every time he falls or takes a hard foul, every Sixers fan is going to clench their ass a little bit tighter. Is he okay? Oh, he is. Okay, good. Every time. And the odds are one of those times he's not going to get up and be okay. Good morning, Mitchie Pooh. Love the new logo, by the way. I don't know if I said it on Twitter. I got myself one temporary. I didn't sign up for a full year, just for a couple weeks until I figure out the glitches with Riverside or see what I do content-wise. But I have my own StreamYard for the next couple weeks. 76ers are going to be terrible this year. They're either going to be another 25-win team or they're going to win 50 games. There's no in between there with that team. Lowry, like other coach, it's a smart move. It's a wasted roster spot, in my opinion. Personally. That's just me. But whatever. But it was also something I knew was going to happen, Rick. I knew Kyle Lowry was going to be back. I knew Eric Gordon was going to be back. I knew this was going to happen. I told everybody it was going to happen. And now that it happened, everyone's upset. I can't understand that. Exactly. Results are all that matters. So let's see the results from the Phillies. Let's see the results from the Sixers. And then we'll have their back. Nothing is wrong with it. A couple days on vacation. I didn't just wake and bake. I all day long did it, my man. All day long. Nothing better than a day on vacation by the beach and just letting it all just coast away for 24 straight hours, right? I'm sure you understand that. Half of the Phil Illuminati are waking, probably. At least half, right? When have the Sixers been healthy for the season? Exactly. Never. Crawford is hitting 350, 30 steals in like 60 games since getting called up to AAA. If you do not think I do not think they're trading him. I think he is their best. I think he is one of the best long-term players. But you know what? Why not? Go for it. If you're going to get an elite player, I want a World Series right now. We've won 2 World Series in the history of this franchise. I want a World Series. 15 likes, and there's 17 people in the room right now. Guys, if you haven't, like, share, subscribe, vote on the poll. Is Zack Wheeler top 5 Phillies pitcher in history? Let's go. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get at it. Come on now. I love that the Flyers signed former UFC fighter. I know you brought that up a few times. I've tried to get back into the Flyers. I'm trying. I got to have more free time to study and read. I would love to get into the Flyers conversation at some point. ChatGPT made the logo. Good for them. Good for them. I've never used ChatGPT before. I don't even know how to use it. Lowry better than a great league player. A G League player you're talking about. Smart veteran with championship knowledge. But he's either not going to play because he's just that leader and that veteran presence, or he's going to steal minutes from somebody. Okay? I'm looking to build something here. They talked all offseason about getting younger and more athletic. And they brought in a couple young athletic players. But then they re-signed old, barely can move Eric Gordon, Kyle Lowry. So you're sending mixed messages. Okay? I hope so, Rick. I hope so. I hope I'm here live after Game 6 of the World Series with the Phillies championship going on in the background, cheering it with you, Rick. I hope so. I hope you tell me 1,000 times, see, I told you so. I hope I don't get to say, see, I told you so to you. I hope that. I do. I want to be wrong in this situation, Rick. I do. More than anything, I want to be wrong. And I will admit I am wrong. This fan base and organization is basing their success in a lot of ifs, if PG stays healthy and if he wants to play for real. I think it's more with Paul George if he wants to play for real. Paul George, the year before he came to the Sixers, played 72 games. Or 71, something like that. So there is at least some track record of him playing games. And being healthy, God. If the East is the East is up for grabs. That's what's funny. The East is absolutely up for grabs for the Sixers. 1,000%. Flyers draft, they were looking to get much bigger and stronger. Their draft was about adding size. And they did that. They still haven't addressed the goalie situation. Heard some rumors about some trades that the Flyers are looking to make at the goalie position. I know they brought in another backup goalie. But yeah. They're taking steps forward. I'm cautiously optimistic. Would I rather have Kyle Lowry and Eric Gordon or Tobias Harris? Tobias Harris, 1,000%. Give me all day Toby right there over those two old men. Good morning, Judd. Welcome to the show this morning. Tobias Harris over Paul. Absolutely. I said it last offseason. I would have signed Tobias Harris back at the right price versus giving Paul George that disastrous-looking contract. The East is absolutely weak. And the Pacers have already officially said 100% Tyrese Halliburton is out for the year. They haven't said that about Tatum or Dame Lillard just yet. But, I mean, the Pacers are out. Celtics are selling off everything. The Bucks, who knows what they're doing with Giannis. He's unhappy there for the fifth year in a row. So, basically, you're looking at Orlando. You're looking at Cleveland. You're looking at – I'm missing somebody here. Orlando, Cleveland, and who else are you looking at in the Eastern Conference? The Knicks. They're your biggest three. Detroit, 4. They're your teams. There's only 4 for sure playoff teams in the East. So if Joel Embiid is healthy, which that's a massive, gigantic if, yes, they can compete in the East. But I'm not banking on them staying healthy. Only one team had any kind of success, Sixers level of ifs, 93. Only one team had any kind of success, Sixers level, 93 Phillies. Yeah. I am back. Don't you notice? Look, I'm in the studio. I'm back home where I belong. I don't know. The Turkish bullet, man. The Turkish MJ. I mean, he's still over in Europe playing in Croatia or wherever he's from. Bring over Furkan. I would have taken Furkan Korkmaz over Kyle Lowry as a roster spot. Absolutely. Next season is huge. Free agent class in the NHL going to make waves. Connor McDavid going to be a Flyer. You heard it here first. Okay, so I don't know that. So, okay, I'll take your word on that. Phil, they signed Darth Vlader to play goalie. Isn't he like a backup goalie? Isn't he a number 2 goalie? But that's it. Bring back Furkan. Dude, my wife and I, Chet, used to get into so many Furkan arguments because she used to be quite the fan of the Korkmaz look, we'll just say. I don't know if she would have left me for him, but she would have considered it. And I used to call him a bum all the time. But you know what? It can't be any worse than what we had last year. Who would you rather have, Furkan Korkmaz or Kyle Lowry? Who would you rather, Furkan Korkmaz or Eric Gordon? At least Furkan played with confidence. I don't know where he got that confidence from, but he played with some crazy confidence. Like, I want to talk about VJ Edgecombe real quick, too, if we're going to talk Sixers. I want to make sure Furkan Korkmaz. Now, I am no X's and O's basketball guy. Like, I don't know technique, okay? I know technique in baseball. I know technique in football. I don't know technique in basketball. All right? Well, I know some. And as I've been told, I should stick to talking football because I'm a football guy and I don't know basketball. So here's where I'm going to admit I don't know basketball, okay? To me, my casual eye, and I thought this during the draft process with VJ Edgecombe, and then he puts up 28 points in his first summer league game, obviously out, for last night's game because of a finger contusion. Just shut him down. Whatever. When I watch him shoot, his three-point shot form doesn't look good. It doesn't look clean and smooth to me, to my casual eye. And I'm not saying this because he shot 1 of 7 or 1 for 8 from deep. Just to me, my personal opinion, he looked off, I'll say. That's just my opinion. Now, am I right in thinking that? Does his form not look conducive to being a successful NBA three-point shooter? Do we need him taking 8 three-point shots a game? No, probably not. He looked great driving to the basket. He looked great getting his own shot. He looked great playing defense and rebounding, pushing the ball. Exactly what they need. Athleticism, energy. Everything I saw from VJ, exactly what we needed. But it's concerned me since day one, the shot. The shot just did not look smooth. It did not look like a shot from 3, from deep, that would average 35 or 40% from long. That's just my opinion. That means we haven't gained any new subscribers. It means we're still sitting at 546 guys. Like, share, subscribe, free to do. Literally the only thing that's free today to do. Furcon ain't corking around. What are kind of Furcon jokes? I love me some cork moss. I did. Phil isn't telling you what defense to run the 1-4 flex kits. I am not. Which is weird. It's funny, Nooms. I was a terrible baseball player, but I understood baseball really well from a very early age. I wasn't allowed to play football because it was too dangerous, but I understood it right away. I was always the biggest kid in my school. I played a lot of basketball growing up, and I was good at it until I peaked height-wise, and then I kind of whatever. But I didn't understand what I was doing. That's the thing. Like, I understood 2 sports, but I was bad at them. And I wasn't bad at 1 sport, but I didn't understand what I was doing. Does that make sense what I'm saying there? That was always something with me right there. Furcon, I wouldn't sit for no finger contusion. That's what I call a lot. Yeah, we got a bunch of lollygaggers. VJ Edgecombe's a lollygagger, right? Tell us about your vacation. Duh. I've already spoken about it quite a bit. You changed your name again, by the way. Do they need an edge? We haven't talked about the edge rumor from last week. I think you lost. I've lost 2 subs while on vacation. I was at 548, then it dropped to 547, then 546. Yeah, I lost 2 subs on vacation. Who knows why, Duck? People pissed off that I took a vacation, so they unsubbed me. Edgecombe probably going to be more of an energy guy offensively and defensively, a slasher, a scorer, not a shooter. Yes, absolutely. And in a summer league game where there's not much talent on the roster, yeah, he's going to take way more shots. What did Pumpman say earlier? He took 27 shots to get his 28 points, whatever. On the Sixers, if healthy, if Paul George and Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, he's going to be the 4th or 5th guy in shot attempts a game. I get that. But at some point, he might be necessary to put up a bunch of shots. And it just didn't look right to me. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. But I do believe everything I did see in that first game showed that he's got the talent, if given the minutes, to be a contributor right away. And someone on this show last week or 2 weeks ago was talking about him starting at the 3. I absolutely think after just 1 summer league game, I don't know if he could start at the 3, but he could definitely play minutes at the 3. He definitely has the length and the athleticism to do it. I have not peaked subwise yet. We are just getting started, K1. Just getting started. Kyle Lowry is the 2nd guard in NBA history to play 20 seasons. Why not just put a young guy in his spot? I don't get it. The Sixers are going to be bad either way. If they're not healthy. But yeah, he's the 2nd guard in NBA history. Look, no need for it. Eagles are winging it on edge. I don't agree with that. I think the Eagles are very good at edge. And guys, real quick, again, make sure you've hit that like button, that share button, and subscribe if you haven't. And please vote on the poll. Is Zack Wheeler a top 5 pitcher in Phillies history? Yes, no, or no, but real close. So far, the voting is going 93% say yes, 7% say no, and nobody's voted real close. Everything looked good but the shot. Where have we heard that before? Yeah. There are guys like that before. And they haven't gotten better at the shot. The thing is, don't put them in a position to take that many shots, right? Need edge. You really are funny. Funny. How's he funny? Like a clown? Does he amuse you? Rick always living rent-free in everybody's head. Rent-free. Always. It is what it is. But yeah, anyway, let's get back on track here. So what are the things we're talking about? What are we? VJ Edgecombe, looking good. Room to improve. Should VJ Edgecombe even play the rest of Summer League? I know we want to see him, but should he? I don't know. Kyle Lowry is back again with the Philadelphia 76ers, and everybody's so pissed off and frustrated. Okay? Why? This is exactly what's going to happen. The Phillies blew it last night because of the umpires. So they didn't blow it. The umpires blew it. Rob Thompson showed no emotion. But Zack Wheeler on Sunday pitched maybe one of the best games we've seen, maybe since Roy Halladay's perfect game in a Phillies uniform. One pitch shy of a perfect game, right? So those are the things on the table. And, of course, Eagles-wise, we're 2 weeks away from training camp starting. And while I was on vacation, I heard a lot of rumors. Well, not rumors. Dumbass WWIP starting up the pot of trading Nolan Smith in a draft pick for T.J. Watt. And I would not do it at all. I would never trade Nolan Smith for T.J. Watt. Not because Nolan Smith is better than T.J. Watt, because obviously he's not, but because it would hurt the future plans of this team. And the amount of wins that T.J. Watt increases this team over Nolan Smith is minimal, and then actually drops the team in 2026, just so you know. And that's just WIP stirring the pot, which is typical of them. Did I forget? Who did you replace the one guy with? What? Who did I replace? What? Edgecombe wasn't brought in here to be a shooter. He will definitely fill a role. He's going to fill a role in this team immediately. What's his ceiling? I think it depends on what happens with his shot. If he works on the form of that shot a little bit, Rick. But, yeah, he shouldn't be a guy getting 20 shots a game. Not this year. Not anytime soon. Absolutely. Well, they could, actually, Rick, this year they can afford him. Can they afford the long-term extension that he wants? Sure. But then it's going to hurt you next offseason when you got to give Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter their big extension. And then the year after that when you got to give Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean their extensions. That's the problem. The problem isn't affording him this year. They have like $27 million in cap space this year right now. But they're trying to save that for next year. Phillies blew it last night because their offense is so inconsistent and their defense is terrible. Yes. Now, the umpire did no help to them. Obviously, Bryce Harper got robbed in that at bat. He was forced to swing at a pitch and roll one over. Now, I know there's a lot of people that want to talk about, you know, Bryce Harper coming back from the injured list too soon and how he doesn't look right. And that's another conversation. I said he shouldn't come back till the end of July. The fact that they rushed him back so soon was kind of frustrating and shocking to me. And he looks like he's not 100% out there. Yes, Uche and Ojulari are the guys we brought in. What about Bryce Huff doing that podcast the other day and talking about how he very early on wanted out of Philly? And all I thought of when I said, no shit, we all wanted you out of Philly right away, right? But it was kind of comical, him saying that out loud. And what's going on with Chauncey? There's two former Eagles stirring the pot this week, or not stirring, in the talking circles. You got Bryce Huff basically complaining about his time in Philly. Good. Goodbye. So what's going on? I didn't get a chance to read it or listen to the audio. And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's like baby mama starting up some stuff that he took a hit out on somebody. Like, what did I even read there? Like, what's going on in that situation? And you will see the emergence of future Hall of Famer Moro Ojomo. Big year for Ojomo. Smith, Carter, Q, Coop going to get paid here, not TJ. Absolutely. And that's why you can't sign him or trade him. It makes no sense to do that. Harper going to be fine. Philly's still going to win a World Series this year. He's going to be fine. I mean, let's not debate the World Series thing. Let's debate the Bryce Harper part of this, Rick. He's hurt. He's struggling. He could have sat for another 4 weeks and gotten a little healthier. He'll be fine. He'll get hot again. But he's going to be playing with a lot of pain, just like he did last year. And we saw in the playoffs that pain became too much, and he struggled a little bit last year in the playoffs. Didn't come up big. Wouldn't it have been smarter for them to let him sit for another month and get a little bit more healthy in that wrist? That's my opinion. This team doesn't need TJ Watt. No, they don't. Not at all. I always try to show them some support. I try to wear this shirt once every 7 to 8 shows. Got to show some support to the Union. Are they still in first place, the Union? I've been away for the last week or so. I don't know what their last week or so has been like, Mike. But good morning, Mike, by the way. Hope you're well. Glad CJGJ is gone. Frankly, dude is good. He has the drama. He's a great player. I mean, well, he's a very good player. Absolutely. But what's going on in that situation? Like, I missed something here. Supposedly he hired a hit. Was it on Malik Neighbors? I don't even know what's going on. Always shout out to him. Huff is right. Eagles aren't run good. They only just want to Bryce Huff. Yeah, exactly. Not even watching this team until after the trade deadline. The movie is too old. Nooms, you're right. And I fear that we're going to make more moves like the last couple of years where we bring in the second level trade players that aren't really going to make a difference. There's a reason why Chauncey has bounced around. He is now. He went Falcons, Eagles, Lions, Eagles. Who's he on now? I don't even know who he went to. No, Saints. So Falcons now. Whatever. He's 5 teams in 5 seasons, Mike. There's a reason a guy like him, with the talent he has been on 5 teams in 5 years. It says a lot about the personality. A lot about the personality. A lot about the locker room culture that he presents. Big, beautiful Super Bowl. We are defending Super Bowl champions, guys. Gotta love it. They're in 3rd place now. Oh, I guess they've lost a few games. Damn, sorry. Sorry, Union. Are in 3rd now, but have been dealing with a lot of injuries. They'll be back on track soon. I got more confidence in the Union than some other teams in Philadelphia. TJ Watt numbers haven't been in existence over the last couple of years. Haven't been existence. So what? I have not seen the new Jurassic Park, but I did see a few people tweet about how god-awful it was. There is no need to reboot Jurassic Park again. It was just an excuse to get Scarlett Johansson in another franchise. Whatever. You can't blame them for putting her in anything, right? And I will watch it, no matter how bad it is. For some reason, I'm always hooked on Jurassic Park movies. I can't not watch them, but I ain't spending a penny. I'm not even going to AMC when they have a Wednesday night 50% off ticket. I ain't spending a penny to watch Jurassic Park. Yeah, keep it on topic, exactly. Anyway, Scarlett Johansson's hot, yes. I don't think you'll find a single person in the universe that would disagree with you on that at all. We're up to 17 likes. Not bad, guys. We're still sitting at 546 subscribers. Please like, please share, please subscribe to the channel, guys. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. What is up, Eric? How are you this morning? I hope you are well. Scarlett Johansson is overrated and aging out. Sorry. What? I don't know if I can talk to whatever he's called today. Bills need edge. I don't think we can talk anymore. I don't think we could be friends. Not at all. This might be the biggest beef the two of us have ever had. Exactly. Me too. Scarlett Johansson, his comments about Scarlett Johansson. Damn. No. Not happening. I know, bruh. Come on, bruh. Texans. What about the Texans? What did I say that made you say the Texans? Not even sure. Contest is King K1. What? Who will have the better season, Flyers or Sixers? It's a tough one, Adam. Because if the Sixers stay healthy, which is a massive big if Joel Embiid plays 55 games and Paul George plays 65 games, it's probably going to be the Sixers. But if they don't, if we have the same kind of games played from our stars as we did last year, it's definitely the Flyers are going to push to make the playoffs this year. They might already be, in my mind, a playoff team. Not a contender, but a playoff team. The Sixers are either a contender or a lottery contender. And that's a problem. So I can't say it. I guess gullible me says Sixers, but realistic me says Flyers. Let the content guide you. Okay, got you. Oh, we're up to 19 likes now. See, look at that. Texans is where he went. That's right. Sorry, duh. That's how we got the guard. That's right, duh. But still, 5 teams in 5 years for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Flyers will easily be better than the Sixers. I don't know if it's easily. There's still talent on the Sixers. Joel Embiid is still a great center when he plays. Even as injured as he was last year, when he was out on the floor, the few times he was still dominant. ScarJo is God is Bill's whatever. Yeah, you said some crazy shit. It is crossing the line. It really is. I blame LeBron for guys like Kyle Lowry sticking around to play basketball when you should just hang it up. I think it's different because LeBron James is still playing at an elite level. I would trade Paul George in a heartbeat for LeBron James right now. A, it would save us 2 years of Paul George's contract, but B, it would bring in the circus of LeBron James. I would do it in a heartbeat. LeBron James still had, 26-8 last year? Or 28-6 or whatever. LeBron James is still a damn. Kyle Lowry is a 2-minute-a-game guy. He's a mop-up duty minute guy at best. LeBron James is still good. Sixers backcourt is going to be fun. Their front court makes me sick. Mike, here's the thing with that. Are we turning into Villanova back during when Jay Wright used to run the 4-guard lineup? We've got 7 guards on this team, and we've got two front court guys. We literally could run a rotation of 4 guards out there. Because you got Tyrese Maxey, Jarrett McCain, VJ Edgecombe, eventually Quentin Grimes. I guess Quentin Grimes. You got 4 solid guys to run out there at guard. And then, of course, they're going to give minutes to Eric Gordon, too. It's crazy how many guards they got on this team. TMC as unrealistically, he does. He really does. Flyers are a year away as they're going to have to make a big splash. Yes, but I think it's okay and it's fair to say that they could make a solid push to make the back end of the playoffs. Will they? I don't know. It'll depend on the development of the young players, the development of Matvei Michkov, who needs to develop this year, absolutely, and how their goaltending situation plays out. But yeah, absolutely. Highest paid actress ever. People are absolutely they are. If you think it's her acting talents, then you're crazy. It's all about the Thurston. I just like blaming LeBron for current state of the NBA. I mean, LeBron, I don't know, would you blame LeBron or Kevin Durant for the current state of the NBA? You asked what yeah, that's, I figured. I caught up on it. Sorry, my bad. There are a lot of comments flowing in here now. I'm behind. It's my first day back. I'm still in the catch-up from vacation mode right now. I can't remember the last good movie. Yeah, I mean, she was in Endgame, but Endgame wasn't even as good as Infinity War. And honestly, she didn't do anything special in those movies. I think the last good Marvel movie she was in was Captain America Winter Soldier. Lowry, just another coach. He ain't making a lot. Expectations are just to help school young players. And sign him to be a coach. I hate this whole, you're signing him because he's cheap. Well, you're signing him because he's cheap because no one else wants that roster spot. And I don't trust Nick Nurse to not give him minutes. I don't. If you're going to sign him to help the young players, then sign him as a coach. That's all you do then. Phil, real quick, does Zach Willie have a knuckleball? No, not that I know of. Zack Wheeler? No. Kyle Lowry didn't give his number to VJ Edgecombe. VJ had to pick 77. I know. Seriously. We knew Kyle Lowry was coming back as soon as VJ chose number 77. What the hell? Yeah, no, he does not throw a knuckleball, Zack Wheeler. Not to my knowledge. I liked her in Chef and Jojo Rabbit. Never even saw those. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. She was huge in the last Avengers movie. She didn't do it. It's not like she did some great acting. I mean, I guess that scene with her and Hawkeye was pretty cool, but that's it. Infinity War 7 years ago. I know. That's it. I thought it was 10 years ago. Those movies are so I'm so tapped out on superhero movies. I love Superman. I want to see the new Superman, but I don't I'm not going to till much later on. Flyers not making the playoffs this year is completely unacceptable. Don't buy into the rebuild bullshit. I don't know if it's unacceptable if they don't make it. They're banking on a lot of young players that have to develop quickly. And you got to see the next step from Matvei Michkov. I don't think people realize that Matvei Michkov, for as rawly talented as Michkov is, he still needs to take the next step. He needs to develop more in his game. Like, tag the right person. Sign him as a coach. Just sign him as a coach. Lost in Translation was a great ScarJo movie. Haven't seen that either. Maybe I haven't seen enough of her movies. Then how do I change my vote on the poll? I don't know. I don't think you can change your vote on the poll. Guys, we're 50 minutes into this show. We're at 150 comments. Let's see. Let me do another reset here on YouTube and see where the numbers lie at this point. No new subscribers today. We're sitting at 19 likes still. All right. So guys, like, share, and subscribe. We have an electoral challenge. 5 years is long enough. Talent is diluted enough in the NHL. Yeah, I don't know enough about that. Nooms, I'm not gonna lie. I don't. But what I do know is they're trending in the right direction, the Flyers. They're not a bunch of lollygaggers like Rob Thompson is, and the Phillies are at times. But oh yeah, absolutely. A rebuild this long is definitely. I mean, you do lose faith in the rebuild if it takes too long. But here's the thing. The Flyers have said since day one, 5 years ago or whatever it started, this rebuild, they said since day one the goal was 2026 to be a contender. That's the season, 25-26 this year, right? Unless they meant 26-27. It was all about getting to this point. I just don't think they have enough experienced talent to be true cup contenders yet. But I think they have enough young, raw talent that if their goaltending is decent, that they can make a playoff push to get to the playoffs. Not a deep run or anything. Ron Hextall was terrible. I haven't watched a movie she's been in since like 2021. I guess I got to look up her movie list here and even see how many of her movies I've even seen outside of Avengers movies. Because honestly, I haven't seen enough. I'm guessing I haven't seen enough movies. All right, we got a new tab opened up here. Let's see her. What the heck's going on? I haven't been on IMDb in a long time. It just says her overview. Jump to. Can you not even see her movie roles on IMDb anymore? Let's try something else here. Find another place to look up her movie list. I don't know why I can't pull up all her movie lists. IMDb changed the way that was the biography. I don't want the biography of her. Let's go Wikipedia on her and let's see what it says on Wikipedia. It doesn't just give me a list. Anyway, I can't pull up a list. I thought I was going to find a ScarJo list really quickly, but it turns out I can't do that. Remember the decade before Topper, no playoffs for 10 years. Be careful what you wish for. And no playoffs for 10 years and getting knocked out early in the playoffs, there's not much of a difference. Except being happy with the playoffs and no championships is why we ended up with Andy Reid for as long as we did. We want titles, Rick. We don't just want to be a really good team. We want to be the best team. There's a difference there, okay? At least in my opinion. If Lowry is there to help the young players, then what does that say about the current coaching staff? It's a great point. Isn't their job? Sixers are just I think it's a great point from you, Steve. Absolutely great point. If we're going to continue to keep Daryl on the team, he should lose his power to sign. He should just lose his job, period, Eric. Daryl Morey's got to go. Got to go. So same number of World Series wins before Topper and with Topper. Yeah, exactly. The Flyers will sign McDavid and Dombrowski next year, and the playoffs will be back in Philly hockey. I kind of want them to make the playoffs this year, Rick. Get that playoff experience for the young guys. There's something to making the playoffs as a young team, just to get that experience of playoff sports. And then the next year they add players, whoever it is, Bob's, McDavid, whatever. And then at least those young guys that have a taste of playoff hockey. I think that goes for all sports, really, Rick. I'm all for expectations, but it has been laid on a little thick for me. IMDb sucks. I haven't been on an IMDb site in a long time. Getting rid of Andy Reid was the best thing to happen. Yes, but we kept him around, and I know I fell for this with Andy Reid. Okay, well, I'd rather make the playoffs than miss it. But I was much younger back then. Now I realize I'm 44, going on 45, and I haven't won I've won 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime, or one World Series in two, but I was like a newborn baby for one of them. 1 NBA championship that was 3-4. You got 1, 2, 3. Our whole entire city's won like 8 championships in the history of it. I want titles. I think we earned, as fans, the right to want titles. And I'll take a title if it means 2 or 3 losing years. That's not true. I'd love to have a playoff hockey back instead of missing playoffs. Yes, I want championship, but no playoffs guarantees no championships. That's true. That is very true. My girl dragged me to my mother's wedding. So bad it was almost funny. I love movies that are so bad they're funny. Every NBA bench has some random vet sitting on the end. Most don't play at all. I don't mind Kyle being there as long as he doesn't take young guard minutes. The problem is, do you trust Mike Pereira? Do you trust Nick Nurse to not give him minutes over the young guards? Early last season, Jarrett McCain was putting up numbers. And the next game, he was DMP coach's decision, and Kyle Lowry had 20 minutes. Multiple times last year, Kyle Lowry, not Jarrett McCain, was the first guard off the bench after he'd already earned the right to come off that bench. Just saying, I don't trust Nick Nurse. I fired Morey like 3. I fired Daryl Morey the day he was hired. Okay, Phil. So you just want the Flyers in the playoffs this year? No. I would love a championship, but I'm being realistic here. They don't have the expectations yet of championship team. There's a difference. They have a young team that needs playoff experience. The Sixers don't need playoff experience. They need championships. It's been a disaster. The Phillies have been to the playoffs 3 straight years. Come up short. There's a difference there. You're trying to twist it for your narrative, but you're twisting it the wrong way. You know who I want in my Jurassic Park's Opie's daughter? What? Who was the vet on OKC? Nick Collison? Oh, wait, he was a coach, not a player. Look at Stevie there. Sam Hinkie had the opportunities that Darryl had. We would be a Philadelphia Eagles of the NBA. I don't know about that. But maybe. She was in Black Mirror episode. She was pretty good. I watched a whole bunch of them when it first started coming out. I haven't watched it in a few years. Maybe I should watch some of that. You speak out 2 different times. No, I do not. There's a difference. The Flyers haven't been to the playoffs. All right? In 2022, when the Phillies hadn't been to the playoffs in 10 years, getting to the playoffs was important. But now they've come up short with the big payroll 3 straight years. The Flyers haven't been in the playoffs. When was the last time the Flyers were in the playoffs? 2019? They haven't been in the playoffs in 5 years. There's a difference when you have a playoff drought versus making the playoffs and coming up short. It's not speaking out both sides of your mouth. It's being realistic to the situations and understanding what the situation each team is in. Big difference. Very, very big difference. Flyers just haven't drafted well enough for this era of hockey, plain and simple. I mean, that's possible. I don't know. This year's draft will tell. This year's draft was supposed to be the key. This year's draft will determine whether Danny Briere keeps his job or not. So Philly, Sixers, and Eagles only winning championship is okay. Yeah, absolutely. This year. Yeah, well, the Eagles don't have to because they just won one. So they get a 1-year grace period there that they can do no wrong. So that's just the fan of me saying that. Yes, absolutely accurate, this statement. This is exactly what I'm saying. Phillies have now been 3 straight years of disappointment with the 3rd or 4th highest payroll in baseball, loads of talent. The Sixers have been a decade of making mistakes and making the playoffs besides this year. And the Eagles, well, they've won 2 Super Bowls in the last 8 years and made 3, so they're free. The Flyers haven't done jack shit for half a decade or longer. So, yeah, when you're rebuilding and you've got a lot of young players, there are 2 different sides, okay? The Flyers are in a rebuild. They've got a lot of young talent. Getting a taste of playoff hockey is the most important thing right now. Sure, we want them to win a cup. I want the Flyers to win a cup every year. People forget. I've been to more Flyers games in my life than I've been to Eagles games. I'm a huge Flyers fan. I won cup. They never won a cup in my lifetime. But they've been so bad for so long, You gotta let them. No team that missed the playoffs for 6 straight years goes on to win a cup. The Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers, they have that experience and they have that championship team. The expectation should be championships, not just getting to the playoffs. Flyers, you can't put those expectations on the Flyers. Yeah, well, you too. Do you know who Ron Howard is? Yes, he is a great football player, right? Hinkie was our only GM to correct his mistakes instead of doubling down. That is true. No, the decade of no playoffs before Topper is a disappointment. Absolutely it is. But we're past that. We've been to the playoffs now 3 straight years with Topper, okay? We've moved on from that decade of losing, okay? So you say it's just okay to make the playoffs, no matter what the situation is on the team. I don't. There's a difference between the Phillies and the Sixers and the Flyers right now. The Eagles, you can't put the Eagles in either of those categories because the Eagles have had so much success over the last decade that it's 3 sides. It's not 2 sides. It's the Phillies and Sixers, it's the Flyers, and it's the Eagles. There's 3 different stories here. I have no problem. I try to let my potty mouth come out more, actually. Phil's is relating titles to hunger. If you haven't eaten in 3 days, you will be okay with bland cooking for a minute. Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying there. So would you rather a team not make the playoffs at all if they're not going to win? No, didn't say that. You do not know what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying the expectation. I'm saying it's a disappointment if you don't win a championship as the Phillies or the Sixers. That just getting to the playoffs isn't acceptable. You got to do more. That's all I'm saying. The Flyers, on the other hand, because it's been so long, if they miss it or just get in and lose in the first round, I'm okay with it because you're seeing progress. Just getting to the playoffs for the Phillies or Sixers and then losing early in the playoffs again is a disappointment because that's not what the standard should be with those teams. Playoffs, playoffs? We're talking playoffs. So because the Phillies didn't win a championship the past 3 years, does that mean they won't win it all? I didn't say that. You clearly think they're going to win a World Series this year, and I hope they do. 1,000% hope they do. And how they lose in the playoffs determines, I guess, whether it was a success or failure of the season. I guess. Certain things can go. A game like last night where the umps affected, whatever. We can make excuses. But the expectation shouldn't be just to make the playoffs for the Phillies. The expectation should be, like you think, to win a World Series. And not winning a World Series for a 4th straight year when you've got the top payroll, when you've got all the talent. We got to talk All-Star Game voting as well in a minute. That just made me remember something from earlier in the week before I got back from vacation. We got to talk All-Star Game voting and stuff like that and who made it on the Phillies. But winning a championship needs to be the goal, the expectation for the Phillies. You can't put the expectation of a championship on the Flyers. You just can't. They're not there yet. I still consider shit a swear. Well, so do I. I don't. You do. I get it. Bryce, Dallas, Howard, Scarlett Johansson, Phil. Don't be afraid of a little junk. What? Gotta love anyone named Bryce. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So real quick, MLB All-Star voting came out last weekend or when I was on vacation. I don't remember when. Only 2 Phillies, Zack Wheeler and Kyle Schwarber, got voted into the All-Star game. And a lot of Phillies fans are upset. And quite frankly, I don't care if the Phillies players get voted on the All-Star game. I know players care for the bonuses in their paychecks and stuff like that and their contracts. But outside of that, am I the only one that would rather the Phillies have no guys in the All-Star game and take the week off and get healthy and rest it versus, playing in a meaningless All-Star game that's boring anyway? That's just something that I don't think a lot of people agreed with. They were insulted that Sanchez and some of these other guys didn't make the All-Star game, and I get that. It's insulting. Trea Turner should have made the All-Star game. Sanchez, Ranger Suarez. But I didn't want Ranger Suarez pitching in a meaningless game when we've already seen him, wear that arm out. I didn't need Sanchez, who's had issues with, arm tightness earlier in the year. I don't need Trea Turner going out there. I get the respect aspect of it. I don't need my team all over the All-Star. I don't even want Zack Wheeler pitching the All-Star game, quite frankly. Phillies have a top 5 odds to win the World Series. Vegas telling us they are expected to win. Their window is now. Sixers and Flyers aren't. Yeah, exactly. So isn't it a disappointment if they lose in the NLCS or the NLDS, Mike? Because to me, it would be a disappointment. It took the Eagles to Sirianni's 4th year to win a championship, so why not give time? I'm giving them to him. Doesn't mean I can't criticize him. Bryce Dallas Howard is such a great director. I know who he is, by the way. Can't wait for her to do more Star Wars movies. Phil don't like that junk because he's, whatever. If you can't say it in church, it's a swear word. I mean, I'd say anything in church. So, Schwarber said he is not doing the home run derby this year. Good. I don't want him doing the home run derby this year. Like, I don't need my players involved. Like, I do get pretty much every baseball player, every athlete, period, has bonuses in their contracts for making all-star games or Pro Bowls or All-Pro, Silver Slugger, all that stuff. All the awards have bonuses worked into their contracts. So I get that aspect of it. And MLB All-Star Weekend is still the best of the 4 sports in festivities, obviously. But there's a big portion of the fan base that doesn't see it that way because they feel like the Phillies were disrespected. And I get it and I understand. But I also, I don't know. I don't need it. I don't need Schwarber playing at all. I don't need Zack Wheeler throwing one pitch in the All-Star game. All-Star games are meaningless. It's like MVPs. Phillies had 9 All-Stars last year. What did that do for them? It's good to, like everybody wants Ranger Suarez to be pitching the All-Star game, and he deserves to be, sure. But I don't want him doing it. Like, what did Topper say after his last start a couple days ago? They pulled him early in the game because they're trying to conserve his pitches thrown this year. And fans want him to throw in the All-Star game for what? For who? Not necessary. Last season proved the irrelevance of the All-Star game. Absolutely. So I don't understand why so many people are so upset that no Phillies, only 2 Phillies got it. Well, this guy got in, but not. Some of these teams, in baseball at least, you're required to have one player from every team making the All-Star game. And that hurts it too, but whatever. There hasn't been measurable progress since they made the World Series. That is Phil's issue. There hasn't been. I'm not giving the same leash, maybe not. Maybe it's partly that. Maybe it's also the personality differences. I like Sirianni's personality and the way he handles things differently. I'm more an aggressive person. I'm more of an in-your-face person in my life, too. So I connect with Sirianni's style more. That's my management style as well in life and at work. So maybe that's part of it as well. I won't lie. I probably don't give him the same leash as I gave Sirianni. But again, I don't know. We're not talking about this stuff right now. How the hell does Gargano have 4 times the viewers of Phil? I smell. I don't care about Gargano. Okay, the cuz. Okay, I don't care about him. He's also got like 50,000 subscribers, and I've got 546. All right. Here's the thing: the difference between I saw this guy promoting his YouTube channel, and he had like 110,000 subscribers. Then I went to his page, and I looked at the views on his page. Like, they weren't even real subscribers, because every video he did had like 80 views, 60 views, 100 views. You know, I get 20, 25% viewership numbers compared to subscribers on regular. That's a very high percentage. Okay. Most places have 50,000 subscribers and get 10%. That's successful. 2%. That means you're buying them. I'm going authentic here. Okay. This is a fully authentic grown show here. I drove past a Fox's Den by, I think, Hershey. Almost got a slice. You don't sell by this. I do in my store. Not everyone does. So would you say you're being hypocritical to Topper as compared to Sierra? I don't think so. I don't want to use the word hypocritical. Maybe there is a little bit to it, but I don't know. I'm willing to admit it, okay? I really, truly think some of it is the management style. I can't connect with the way Topper works. I've worked for people like Topper and Sirianni before. I work like Sirianni, not like Topper. I don't think a Topper would get the best out of me, but Sirianni would. It's just a personal preference, okay? I don't want 32-year-old Trea Schwarbs and 35-year-old Wheeler in the All-Star. I don't either. I don't. A lot of people with bots out there. A lot of people with bots on their YouTube channel. A lot of fake subscribers and fake views on shows. I love a channel that's got like 100 subscribers and has like 2 views on each show. Then one show gets 100,000 views, and then the next show gets nothing again. You know, they just paid for a bunch of viewership. They paid one of those guys from some country that doesn't speak English to grow their channel, all authentic. And obviously that doesn't work. That's not the way it happens, but, you know, whatever. But that's not what you do here. That's not what we do here, okay? We are all authentic. 100% authentic here. No new subscribers. We're still at 546. We're still sitting at 19 likes on the video today. Guys, we're in the final 20 minutes. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's go. I still want to hit that 1,000 mark by the start of the channel. I'm all organic, okay? I don't pay for a damn thing other than the programming to run the show. But no playoffs before Topper, but only playoffs since Topper. He's in his 4th year like Sirianni was, but you're still trying. I am. Yeah, maybe there's a little hypocriticalness to it. Maybe. I also had a lot more faith in some of the players on the Eagles. That Sirianni. I also was a big Jalen Hurts fan. I don't feel about anybody, maybe Zack Wheeler. I don't feel any way about the Phillies as I do with Jalen Hurts. I had confidence that Jalen Hurts with Nick Sirianni would eventually put them over the top. I had confidence in Howie Roseman building the winner. I had confidence in a lot of things with the Eagles. But I've been critical of the Eagles, Rick. I was critical of the Eagles in 2023 regularly. In the offseason of 2020, how they followed up the Super Bowl, loss by hiring Sean Desai and whatever his name was. Brian Johnson. I was critical of those. I have been critical of the Eagles. Not Nick Sirianni as much. I've been critical of Nick Sirianni in the slow starts and games. I have been critical. I need to pay some bot farm to boost it. No, I would never do that. Ever. 1,000 likes and subs so we can get yeah, exactly. Here we go with a bunch of cherry bombs in the comments. So would you say you're negative about the Phillies but not the Eagles? I mean, I am negative about the Phillies. I don't think I've ever said I'm not negative about the Phillies. Well, I have said that you said some shows were negative when they weren't. I try to put positive spins on the Phillies, but then you egg me on. I'm going to get to your comment in a second, Rick, about that. The Phillies don't have a great player that is also the leader that exactly. Huge difference. See, this is something, I forget what it was. Somebody was asking something about Zack Wheeler on one of the radio channels, comparing him to, it wasn't Hurts, but maybe it was to some other, actually, I think I could find this tweet because I disagree. There's a big difference here, okay, with Zack Wheeler and some of the other guys. Give me a second to find this. I want to, but I'm almost definite, not that one. Not that one. Where's this post I made? Who is better at their job? It was Jalen Hurts. Who's better at their job? Jalen Hurts or Zack Wheeler? Okay. And it spurred this thing. You can't compare a starting pitcher in baseball to other positions in sports because Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP, great quarterback, leader, everything. Zack Wheeler, one of the probably 3 or 4 greatest pitchers in Phillies history. But he takes the ball once every 5 games. And I'm not holding that against him. That's the way it is, right? Can you value a starting pitcher to the quarterback of an NFL franchise, to the starting point guard of an NBA franchise, to the goalie? Goalies don't play every game; they play a lot of them. To the starting center and captain of an NHL team. Like, I don't know if you can really get pitchers. You got to have starting pitchers here and everything else in sports over here. Okay, because of that. That's just my opinion. Wheeler is phenomenal. Wheeler is the best, but he's only out there once every 5 games. And you can't lead a team the way Jalen Hurts does as playing once every 5 games. Sirianni has made significant adjustments to guiding principles. Topper's the same. I agree with that. Sirianni evolved to get to last year. What has Rob Thompson done to evolve to be different this year? I don't think he has. Reluctance to run, yeah. And look at him last year, right? Schwarber is the leader. I don't know if he's Schwarber in like the 93 aspect where we had 3 leaders that all led differently. You had Dalton, you had Dykstra and Kruk. You had 3 different leaders that led differently. Schwarber's kind of the only leader. And he needs another person to be his counter leader. And I don't think we have that. I remain confident in the Eagles, even in the post-game. Yeah, exactly. Wheeler is a great pitcher who plays every 5th day and isn't vocal at all. He's nothing like Hurts. I see. The thing is, Wheeler is a great pitcher. He isn't vocal. Hell, he doesn't. He is what he is. One of the best of all time. He'll be on the Phillies Wall of Fame, hands down, guaranteed, no doubt about it, when his days are over. But it's hard to compare starting pitchers, period, to other things. So you're saying you're overcritical. I'm overcritical on everybody. I won championships. Schwarber does play every game, I know, but Kyle Schwarber's not on the same level leadership-wise as Jalen Hurts. But have you given Topper the 4th year that? But see, the thing is, Topper, Sirianni going into that 4th year was already changing. You already saw a change in tides in that early on in that 4th year. What does Topper look different this year than last year? Has Topper done anything differently this year than last year? Please answer that. Noom should have my crown. I don't understand it. This crown system is new to me. I don't know. I think it has to do with how many times you comment and how often you comment and how many shows you tune into. I don't know. 93 Phillies had a bunch of leaders and didn't win shit. So, yeah, absolutely. 93 Phillies was a one-hit wonder, obviously. It was kind of completely out of left field. No one expected the 93 Phillies to make the World Series. That was just one of those blips on the radar, right? First come, first serve, is it? I don't know what that is. I don't know anything about it whatsoever. Sirianni changed after week 5 when the O-line called him to talk. See, the thing is, who on the Phillies is calling Rob Thompson, saying, yo, things have to change? Who are there Phillies players like Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber marching into Topper's office after game saying, yo, can you have our back, please? No. Sirianni's a special cat where he is confident in himself to accept criticism. When was the last time Rob Thompson was criticized? Probably by Nick Castellanos. And what did he do? He benched Nick Castellanos. Rightfully so. Castellanos did it in the wrong time and wrong place. But no one challenges Rob Thompson. It's okay to challenge. Look, everybody challenged Nick Sirianni. Players, coaches, fans, media, and Rob Thompson and Nick Sirianni changed. Won us the title. Nobody's challenging Rob Thompson. Somebody's got to be the yin to the yang, Rick. And if that's got to be me, it's got to be me. I have no problem doing it. I'm unworthy of it. You are unworthy. I'm unworthy. The word awesome originated from the Old English word awe, meaning a feeling of profound respect, fear, or dread, often associated with the divine. Rob Thompson's team is a top 4 team in the NL right now, but y'all bury him every day. Okay, whatever. Cool, man. It is. We're never going to see eye on this, Rick. Unless we win a World Series, we are not going to see eye to eye. Zero. If anyone deserves a crown, it's Mister from his knowledge drops. Absolutely. Mister and his knowledge drops are great. Swing! I love it. I love a good old Wayne's World reference. I think Wayne's World doesn't get the respect it deserves as being one of the greatest Saturday Night Live sketches to ever turn into a movie. I don't think it gets the credit it deserves. It was a great movie. Number 2 wasn't necessary, but number 1, pretty damn awesome. Plain and simple. Even Nick's kids challenged him at the podium. Exactly. Everybody challenged Nick, and it made him a better person and a better coach. Nobody's challenging Rob Thompson after last night's game, and we don't know if it happened or not. After the way the umpiring went at the end of the game, and Rob Thompson, you actually had Bryce Harper look to the dugout and go, yo, what's going on here? They want is Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber and Zack Wheeler going to march into the dugout or the office last night after the game and go, yo, Rob, you got to change. You got to get our backs here. No, they're just going to keep going about their business. No stairway. Denied. Yeah, exactly. Al Bundy was in it. Al Bundy was in a lot. Nobody better than him. When we win a World Series, y'all, I'm going to sit here and say I was wrong. I'm going to sit here and say I was wrong. I'm glad I'm wrong. That's what it's going to be. I'm always the first to admit I'm wrong. Why do they come to me to die? We're up to 20 likes. All right, so we gained one more. Still no more subscribers today, but we're up to 17 votes on the poll. 20 likes. That means some people haven't voted on the poll yet. 94% say yes, Zack Wheelers, top 5 pitcher in Phillies history. Love to see the results going the way they go. If Edgecombe averages 30 points per game, we trade the process by the trade deadline. There's going to be no trade of anybody, unfortunately. That's the big difference with the Phils. Almost all of Phil's staff march the same beat. The Birds have a combo of humility and talent in their coaching staff. I agree with that statement. Even when Eagles had to fire a bunch of staff members, Nooms. Yeah. Look. Rob Thompson, we can argue till we're blue. He's not going to get fired. Hell, even a loss in the playoffs, he probably doesn't get fired after this year. It is what it is. They can win a World Series. Doesn't mean that we're not fans because we criticize them. We're all the Eagles fans, fair weather fans that said Nick Sirianni needs to be fired? No. They're just living in the moment. They're passionate about their sports team. That's what I am. That's true. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Eagles had the best coaching staff ever last year. Vic and Nick are perfect together. Yeah, we're going to see how Kevin Patullo does this year. It's something we're going to talk about. Camp starts in 2 weeks. We're definitely, though, going to get into that. I can't believe we're 2 weeks away from training camp now. Thank God. But I read it on. I can't wait. Can't wait to just talk football again regularly. They knew when to move on. Yes. The year before the Eagles staff. And they moved on from that staff. They recognized their humanity and quickly move on from the mistakes. Yeah. What mistakes have the Phillies moved on from? Why haven't the Phillies won anything yet? Right, let's break it down this way. Why haven't the Phillies won a World Series yet in the last 3 years? Inconsistent bats, sketchy bullpen, great starting pitching. Okay? Bats went cold in 2022. Bats went cold in 2023. They're running the same lineup out there again. Whit Merrifield, cheap outfield fix. Didn't work out last year. This year they go with a cheap outfield fix at Max Kepler. Not working out again this year. The bullpen, not having a consistent closer. Hasn't worked for them for how many years? The Phillies haven't looked at their mistakes and said, we've got to change our thought process. Okay? Topper hasn't thought about how to change his thought process with how to manage the team. Topper and his staff are one of the winningest staffs. Of course, winningest. You got to add one key word in there. 2 key words. The winningest regular season staffs. Okay, regular season. Okay. We all love a quality read. Ad read, that is. Hurts and Saquon are the offensive coordinators. Yeah, we've heard that, haven't we? I've listened to so many offensive players' interviews, and it really sounds like Hurts. Yeah, we've heard a few people say this stuff. That Hurts is really calling the shots out there. And you know what? Honestly, let's be honest, Anthony and Eric. What elite quarterback isn't really, truly calling the plays? Okay? Who isn't? Whether I want to give them to the end of season 4 or not, we have to give them the end of season 4 because they're getting to the end of season 4. You know, it's also like there's so many great TV shows that go on one season too long, and then it all falls apart. Sometimes it's okay to cancel a show before the 4th season also, okay? Not saying they have to, but they could, you know? We're coming up to the final 5 minutes, and I'm so glad to be back in the saddle this week. What do we got on deck this week? I don't know. We're going to obviously talk more Phillies this week and more Sixers this week. I pre-recorded 3 episodes of the Eagles Checkdown last night, talking about the 3 teams in the NFC East for the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Commanders, and Giants, and expectations for their seasons. So we might start talking some NFC East stuff as well this week, how those teams have stacked up off seasons against the Eagles. The biggest factor most people ignore, Phillies have actually been the healthier team come October against almost every opponent. How long can that last? It's a fair point. I am enjoying the ride. You know, and you know what's funny? I am enjoying the ride. That doesn't mean I can't live in the moment of the instant passion. Right now, the instant passion in the moment feeling is that Rob Thompson didn't have Harper or Kirkrange back last night. That's my instant emotion. You love it. You love it, Rick. That Cowboys preview was really good this morning. Did I do Cowboys first? I record them all. I don't remember which order I did first. I know the Cowboys was the one I enjoyed the most. No guest this week. So I got a great guest lined up next week. I got to confirm on Monday, and then the following week. So the next 2 weeks, not this week, the next 2 weeks. I got to still get confirmations on them. I'm not announcing names. One's a guy from a local TV channel. One's a guy calls football games for a bunch of TV channels and stuff like that. So a football broadcaster and a local Philly broadcaster be on this show in the next 2 weeks. Plus, I'm going to line up some other guys as well. They're fairly good at keeping most healthy. Nola had a chance to be a great comeback story. We better still hope that Nola comes back with. Do we have? I mean, that's. I'm going to write that down for tomorrow. I mean, remember, we've got Taijuan Walker starting again tonight. Do the Phillies have a starting pitching problem? Obviously, Wheeler, Cy Young candidate. Ranger Suarez and Christopher Sanchez, next level Cy Young candidates. But after the top three, McAble's demoted, Aaron Nola's out, Andrew Painter ain't coming back anytime soon, Jesus Luzardo is leveled out. Do we have a starting pitching problem? Good morning, Dante. Going to Summer League in Vegas tomorrow. Go. Awesome. With Jameer. That's right. Record a video of Jameer to send to me. Say, get Jameer to record something for Trending in the AM and send me that video. You should get Gio the podcast and talk Eagles. Yeah, I could do that. I've never actually had Gio on a show before. I hope Nola doesn't come back at all. Well, you might need him. New WNBA team should be called the Nicketells. Probably. That we can agree on, sure. I've already said, after the first 10 games of the first season, when they're 4-6, and yeah, the interest in the WNBA team will wane quickly, probably, in Philly. Get me a video of him saying, Trending in the AM, and something Sixers related, even if it's no. Send him a video. Tell him to tune in. You guys from Summer League can tune in, okay? I'll send him the link, and he can just jump on randomly. Not sure what he's allowed to talk about or not, but yeah, let's go. My email address is on the YouTube page somewhere, I think. If you're not on Twitter, you can also DM me on Twitter as well, at Bearded Knowledge. But yeah, anyway, it's time to wrap this show up. I think that's where we're going to start tomorrow, because we'll see how Taijuan Walker does tonight. The question tomorrow might be, do the Phillies have a starting pitching problem? I don't know. We do give New York a run for its money, but no. Come on now. Don't ever take sides against the family, Rick. Supporting New York over Philly, that's taking sides against the family right there. So I think that's a negative comment from you. Don't ever say that. Are we negative? Yes, we are. But are we worse than New York? Never are we worse than New York in anything, okay? Just don't forget that. Guys, if you're watching this on replay, please like, share, subscribe. I check all replay comments. Please, let's get the subscriber count up. Let's keep this going. Cheers up then. Oh, yeah, hey. We'll be back tomorrow. Do we have a Philly starting pitching problem? Welcome back. I'm glad to be back. I love a good vacation, but I also love my routine, Adam. I love having a routine, getting up, doing my show, going to work, coming home, whatever. We love you, Rick. Just so you know, even though we're all against you today and most days, we all love Rick. He thinks he lives rent free in our head. We have nothing but love for Rick. Rick's a great guy. Rick does a great podcast. But we love him. Starting pitching problem. Because we got 3 great starting pitchers. You do realize Taijuan Walker's starting tonight, right? 3 starting pitchers is enough in the playoffs. But how much of our starting pitching are we going to blow out to get to the playoffs? Just saying. You got no McAble, Luzardo, and Painter ain't coming back, and Nola's still out. You got 3 elite pitchers and a bunch of minor leaguers. Or nothings, or whatever. It's a question. It's just a question. I don't like knowing that Taijuan Walker's starting tonight. What's up, Mike Green? Late to the show. We're about to wrap up. Have a hitting problem. Oh, they absolutely do. And a relief pitching problem. I do live rent-free in it. Yeah, whatever. Nothing happens to Rick while Phil's alive. Exactly. You can't turn your back on the family, okay? You just can't do that. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up. We'll be back tomorrow with more great content, as always, guys. Everybody have a great Tuesday. Stay warm. Tune in tonight, 6 p.m., the Scottish Open preview for Fairway to Heaven. Jason, Steven, and myself will be live at 6 o'clock. Best top 3 in baseball. The rest of it, come on now. Sorry, that sucks, man. But catch the replay. There's a lot of good banter on the show today, for sure. Golf is back, baby. We can have a bazzoon hoop kind of a show tonight, K1. Thank you very much, Rick. I appreciate you. Everybody have a great night, great day. See you guys tonight, 6 p.m. for Fairway to Heaven, or tomorrow morning with the next episode of Fairway to Heaven Live. You always spice it up. Deuces, Mike. Sorry you missed it, but have a great day, guys. Go Birds! Bubbles up.